Have you ever given someone advice, whether it's a coaching client, a family member, a friend, a colleague, a direct report at work, and for whatever reason that advice didn't land as you had expected it to, or even if they did take in the advice, they never actually followed through and implemented it, even though it would have been good for them to do so? If yes, then you're really going to enjoy today's video, because in this video I'm going to share with you the top reasons why our advice doesn't work for people, as well as some solutions and some ways around that. So if that's for you, you're in the right place, and I look forward to sharing this with you. The first reason why our advice won't connect with people, or they won't take it in, is probably because there's not sufficient rapport between you and them. So the real question here is, did they ask you for advice? Are they open for advice? Is that what they're looking for right now? Because you'll find, I'm sure you have experiences in your life where someone came to you with unsolicited advice. And we all know that feeling of being told what other people think we should do, even though we weren't really in that state ready to receive that. So first thing to do is to check if there is sufficient rapport. One kind of hint that I'm going to give you is that even when my coaching clients ask me outright for advice, I don't give it to them. But that's going to be the last tip that I'm going to share with you in today's video about how to go around that. So, okay, let's say that there is sufficient rapport and this person is open and willing to hear you out. Another reason why our advice doesn't land with people is because we haven't done enough information gathering in the first place. So maybe you've been on the receiving end of this one, where someone is giving you advice and in your head you're going, I haven't even had a chance to express myself yet. You didn't ask me any questions, you didn't explore, you didn't even give me a chance to share with you, and you're already telling me what you think I should do. So really, one of the important things to do here, and this is a very kind of coaching skill, is to ask a lot of questions of someone and gather a lot of information. You're going to need to understand the whole landscape of what's going on inside of them before you're even going to be in a good place to consult them, to give them some sort of tip, some sort of advice, some sort of perspective. So the key here is, number one, we're going to make sure that there's sufficient rapport, meaning that there's a connection, an openness, a willingness, and that the conversation is in a proper context for you to support them. And then you're going to want to gather a lot of information and bite your tongue until you understand very well and you can feed back to them. So what I'm hearing is, and explain their situation back to them, that they can confirm that you are understanding. So now we're on to the third reason. Another reason why our advice fails is because a lot of times people already know what they need to do, and yet something is blocking them from doing it. So if you give them advice, you go, you should blah, blah, blah. Well, a lot of times the response is going to be, yes, I know. They may not say that out loud, but in their head, they're thinking, yes, I know I should do that. But the problem isn't knowing. The problem is that there's a gap between knowing and doing. And again, this is where the coaching skills of facilitation and questioning are going to be really, really powerful, especially these neurosemantic skills of meta-questioning, to explore the frames of mind, the beliefs, the objections, the reasons, the justifications, the decisions that they've made, even the identities that they hold. What is their inner game that's stopping them from actually taking action on what they know? And if that's the issue, is that they know what to do already, then you telling them what to do isn't helping anything. It's not actually supporting them to get from where they are to where they want to be. And I imagine if you're in a place where you're wanting to provide advice to this person, then that's your goal. Your intention is to help them get to where they want to go, or somewhere that's better than where they are now. And so the best way to do that is going to be to explore the psychology, the inner game that's driving them from not acting on what they already know. But in that case, telling them what to do isn't going to help, because they already know. That's not the problem. That's not the problem that needs to be solved. And so again, another blockage there to stop your advice from getting in is that they already know the thing. It's not the problem. The problem is that they can't act upon it. So another problem with giving advice, and now we're kind of changing gears here, because those are reasons why your advice wouldn't work. Now I'm going to give you 2 reasons why giving advice is probably not the best solution at all. Remember earlier in the video I said even when my clients ask me for advice, I refuse them. I don't give them advice. I always reply back with a question and a series of questions. So one of the reasons why I would rather coach them rather than consult them or give advice is because if you give them the answer, you're creating basically you're disempowering them in a way, because now they're looking for you as the expert with the wisdom, with the knowledge to be able to support them, rather than taking personal responsibility to find the answer for themselves. So this can create some dependency where they feel like they need to continually come back to you and other people to learn stuff, to get stuff. And the presupposition there is that they do not have the resources to solve their own problems, which leads to, again, disempowerment, unresourcefulness, and irresponsibility ways of responding in the world. So that's one of the reasons why advice is not the best solution in the first place. To tell them a questioning, coaching, facilitation model is much more empowering to the other person for them to find their own answers. And the biggest reason I think why I would almost never give advice to my clients is because when you give someone advice, even if they do act upon it, and remember, we talked about at least 3 reasons in this video why they wouldn't, even if they do act upon it, nobody knows what the results are going to be. So if they say, hey, should I get a divorce? Or what do you think about quitting my job? Or, I have this opportunity, do you think I should take it? It's kind of expensive. If you give them advice and they follow your advice, probably the worst thing that can happen is that they follow your advice and then it does not work out for them. Because now you're a big target. You've been blacklisted because you told them to do something and it was a bad decision. So not only if it's a good decision, they don't take responsibility for it, but if it's a bad decision, now your butt is on the line. And even if it's not a conscious thing, there's going to be some subconscious tension here as to they pointed me in the wrong direction, and that's not what you want as a coach, as a friend, as a family member, as a colleague and coworker, and so on. So I hope you found this video valuable. We went over a couple of reasons. Number one, why advice wouldn't work, and then why advice is not the best solution, and why taking a more coaching, a more facilitative style is going to be much more empowering to you and to everyone else and to the relationship in the long run. If you don't know me, I'm Jason Schneider. I'm the founder of the Perception Academy, and I work with coaches, trainers, leaders, and personal developers to unleash the highest and best of human potential using cutting-edge psychological models such as neurolinguistic programming and neurosemantics. I hope you found this video valuable. If you have any other reasons why you think advice doesn't work, or why what other solutions there would be rather than advising, I'm more than happy to see them. Feel free to leave them anywhere around this video, and wishing you an awesome rest of your day. Hope to see you in future videos and in future courses.